May I have in your attention, please?
Are you all paying attention?
The worst day of my life, without a doubt.
You never expect something like that to happen to your children.
She was 3. She had had an ear infection at her physical.
Her mother was caught by a nurse at a dance studio and said, you know, she doesn't look good.
And she said, well, I really think you should get her in as soon as possible. I don't want to freak you out, but I'm a nurse and that's not normal. The doctor came in and said, didn't even examine her, just looked at her from across the room and said, she's severely anemic, I need you to get her to Children's Mercy. Her heart was beating so hard, trying to get oxygen to her organs, that they thought she was going to go into cardiac arrest. So they called a pediatric cardiac team to come pick her up. So then the doctor came in and did their examination, told us that she was severely anemic, that she had swollen lymph nodes in her groin and in her, around her neck. And I just lost it. I knew.
That's when she was diagnosed with having leukemia.
The only thing I could think of is that I was going to lose her.
It doesn't discriminate. Anybody, any age can get leukemia. We explained to Kalista that she had bugs in her blood. It was the easiest way.
So they were very open, but they put it in her terms. And so she was able to understand it the best you can at 3. And she accepted it pretty well.
Everything went well for her that first week. And leading into the treatment plan.
The thing that she had the hardest time with was her hair. She was a girly girl. She always wanted her hair done, and so that was hard for her. She cried and wanted to know if she was still pretty.
I use the word bless with her because you hear so many stories of different children going through different traumatic issues with it.
She flew through treatment. I've known plenty of people going through this. You meet people. And honestly, she did fantastic.
You're doing a good job,
You
sweetie.
did a good job.
Relapse is not high in the type she had, but it can happen. She's a tough kid. She really is. She never really complained. She took it like a trooper. She knows that she wants to help people.
Her being Girl of the Year is an exceptional honor. Anybody that has children, may they never have to go through this, but fully understand that the contributions that they're willing to make, in this, is vastly important. That every dollar counts.
I want to help people know that they're not alone.
It's, something great out of something bad.
In 2011, I ran for Man of the Year in honor of my father, Joseph, who passed away from complications from non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and ran in his honor, and won Man of the Year in 2011. And that was in May. Really, we just set off the rest of our summer. Kim was pregnant, we were having our 3rd son, and just did the normal things that a family does.
Like swinging?
She started noticing stuff with Joe. He had little bumps in front of his ears.
I was so nervous about him. I would look at him during the day and I would just cry because I was so nervous about what it was. They put him on antibiotics on that Monday. We had Cole on Wednesday, and then we got home on a Friday and he had fallen off a swing and hurt his wrist, and he just complained about it more than what he normally would complain about things.
The next morning he woke up and was still complaining of his wrist.
The nurse practitioner looked at his wrist, said that was okay, and that she was concerned about his neck, so she did some blood work, and that's when we ended up at Blank. And that's when Matt basically told me to prepare for the fact that he probably had leukemia.
I knew right away that what that meant and my background with the Leukemia Lymphoma Society and what childhood cancers are. I unfortunately know a lot.
It was devastating. It was heartbreaking. Nothing prepares you for that. My heart broke in a million pieces.
And that's when the gravity of the situation kind of took hold of what our new life was going to be, was that, you know, it's game on and it's serious. And that's where Leukemia Lymphoma Society comes to help. And they immediately hooked us up with myself with two dads that their sons had been through this. I didn't need any more internet research. I didn't need any more papers or books. I just needed those two dads to tell me it was going to be okay.
First 9 months were very, very, very difficult. He was very sick. Any fever, he would have to go to the ER or the clinic, and that would usually get us a 2 to 4 day stay in the hospital.
I'm beating everybody!
Before he was diagnosed, at night when we would go up to bed, he and his brother Nick would race up the stairs as fast as they could, and Joe would always beat everyone, the whole family, all the time. And there was a time where he couldn't go one step. He couldn't walk up a step. And we had to carry him. And it's really hard to see your child go through that.
He's never asked why. He's never asked, why me? This isn't cool, this isn't fair. I shouldn't have to do this, never.
Every day he takes chemotherapy in the evenings, at night, and 5 days out of the month he takes a steroid. On Fridays he takes another pill.
Kids, don't do this at home.
Depending on what month it is, either gets a spinal tap or some other chemotherapy. He is in what's called, the phase is called long-term maintenance.
We just try to keep his life as normal as possible and just remember that he's a 5-year-old boy and he may have leukemia, but he's still a little boy.
Oh yeah, that counted.
He loves school, he loves life, he's doing great. There's just always a lot of fear associated with his diagnosis, and I think the Leukemia Lymphoma Society and knowing where that money goes and that it helps children like Joe is reassuring, because it's not ever going to be over for us and we need to find a cure.
He was diagnosed on August 27th of 2011. He will be finished with treatment on December 13th of 2014. Big party at the Mauser house. 12, 13, and 14.
100% could not have done it without our friends and our family and our church and Leukemia Lymphoma Society.
The auction tonight and the funds raised across Leukemia Lymphoma Society's plate, over 70 cents of every dollar raised goes directly towards research. It's not to overhead, it's not to fancy marketing campaigns, it's dollars for research.
You can't meet a child with cancer and not be affected by it in any way. It's heartbreaking, and we need to end it. We need to stop it.